What's going on, guys? It's your man, Ed Hayes, the wholesale coach here, back for another podcast, guys. And in this podcast, I'm going to be talking to Justin Schmidt. Now, he's a wholesaler and he's got a YouTube channel as well, guys. And I want to bring him on to the channel. He's a young guy. He's doing his thing out here. And I want him to come onto the podcast to be able to introduce himself to you all, but also to share some free game. He's out here getting deals. So I'm going to let Justin introduce him. Going, Justin.
What's
Welcome.
going on? Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
man, my pleasure, brother. It's my pleasure. So why don't you, for the audience that doesn't know you already, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Justin Schmidt. I'm 20 years old. I graduated high school in 2017. So I've only been out of high school for 2 years now. And my first year out, I did go to college. Not even really because it was my choice, mostly because I was influenced by my parents and, they wanted me to go the safe route. But I always knew, I really had some entrepreneurial spirit in me, and college really wasn't going to be what I wanted to do. But I did end up going for one semester just to make my parents happy. So I spent my first semester at college, and after one semester there, I already knew it wasn't what I wanted. So I did end up dropping out. And I initially dropped out not knowing what I was going to do exactly. I didn't discover wholesaling yet, so I just dropped out and really told myself I would figure it out. And by the grace of God, or whatever you want to call it, I did find wholesaling simply based off a YouTube video. So if you know Ty Lopez, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with Ty Lopez. He was having a free live seminar with Jalen White, who was actually a pretty big wholesaler. And it was just going over how to get into real estate with no money, which was wholesaling. And at first, I did think it was a scam. You hear how to get into something with no money instantly, it raises some red flags. But, I decided just to stick it out. I watched actually the whole entire thing, and I was like, okay, this actually seems pretty legit. And from that point on, I just, started learning as much as I could and pretty much became obsessed with the concept. So that's how I got started.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yep.
Man, like Ty Lopez is always putting out all this content, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's good though. I'm glad that you actually came across it, man. I came across you actually on Instagram, man. Like you like a low-key Instagram celebrity over here, man.
I've been grinding on Instagram.
The right way indeed, man. So why don't you just kind of give the audience just like a like a brief rundown of like what you've been able to do so far in wholesaling, like how many deals are you getting, like what is it looking like?
Yeah, so I started out actually in a partnership. So there's four of us, and I'm sure, as you could tell, four people in one business, all splitting assignment fees, all trying to do different parts of a deal, just became extremely hectic. So we actually ended up splitting up. We did that for about 6 months, closed a ton of deals together. So that's where I really got my experience on how to wholesale. And then we ended up just splitting after, like I said, about 6 months into the business. And that's when I decided to go off on my own. And I'll be honest with you, the first couple months on my own, it was almost like a full restart. I didn't have a ton of money to continue marketing with. I had to figure out for myself what I wanted to do, how I wanted to operate my own business. So it did take a little bit to pick back up. And, as of right now, consistently, I'm closing about 2 deals a month, sometimes more. And I'm looking to scale. So, just recently I started, growing my team from a one-man business to actually getting people around me who are working on my business for me. So, right now I've just been in the process of scaling, but on average, I'm doing about 2 deals a month.
Okay, the right way indeed. I see you putting in that work.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up though, bro. That's what's up, man. 2 deals a month.
Yep.
Man, so yeah, like I tell people all the time, 2 deals a month will get you free.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's essentially that's 2 deals a month at a $5,000 average assignment fee. I mean, that's a 6-figure income.
Exactly.
You're making triple what a college graduate would be making.
Insane.
Man, that's a blessing, man. So man, that's just crazy. So what's the timeline been though? So like from the time that you just heard Ty Lopez's or watched Ty Lopez's seminar to right now, like how long has it been?
So, I I probably found out about it around March of last year, and
Okay.
we didn't actually start grinding and working towards it until early summer. So probably around June, May, June, we actually started
Wow.
working on it. So it's been a little over a year now, and it's been a crazy journey
Man.
so far. Yeah, only a year.
Yeah, right. That's no time, man. That's no time. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, though, like putting in a year of consistent work is what has led you to the point where you are now getting
Exactly.
those 2 years consistently.
Yeah.
So, man, that's what's up, though, man. That's what's up. So, so how long did it take from like the time when you first found out about it to the time when you finally got your first deal with your team?
Yeah. So it took us about 3 months.
Okay.
Those first 3 months, we were just filled with doubt, uncertainty, so many questions. It was a mess because everyone had different perspectives, and we were trying to learn from everybody on YouTube, which is something that becomes pretty challenging because everyone has their own wholesale. Everyone is going to yeah, it's a pretty simple business, pretty straightforward, but at the same time, there's so many different outlooks. Some people do virtual, some people say do it in your own market. There's different marketing strategies. So it was pretty hectic, but it took us about 3 months, and then we finally closed our first deal. And then, we started understanding after that first deal how the process actually looks and how it works. And then we were just able to literally crush it. We killed it together. The only reason we really ended up splitting was simply because the assignment fees being split 4 ways was a little discouraging. And it is something that you can do, as a one-man team, and then build, obviously, people up around you. So
Very true indeed. Very true indeed. But like, so the 90 days or the 3 months that it took you to get that first deal, I think that that's very common. I think a lot of people don't, realize that, it could take some time. You got to be patient and you got to be willing to hang in there. So for you all that's listening right now, like just know that if you're just starting off, you've only been like finding out about wholesaling for maybe a month now or something like that, or you're kind of just jumping in, it's going to take some time. Be patient, keep grinding. You can get to the point where you could be getting deals consistently if you're just willing to consistently put in that work, just like Justin did.
exactly. Yeah, and I feel like it really does come down to a commitment. Because I'll say this, even after we decided to split up, I would say that was the hardest part of the whole wholesale journey. For me at least, was when we ended up splitting and I was on my own. You'd think it'd be pretty simple because I already knew how to wholesale. But that, say, 3 month period where I wasn't closing anything, I was unemployed, not closing any deals. And I just felt like everyone around me was ultimately doing better than me. My friends at least had jobs, they at least had stable income. And I would say that was like honestly one of the lowest points because I was like broke. Like I was extremely broke. And coming from that high of closing all these deals, having all this success, to them being on my own and feeling like I'm failing and feeling like, I'm at rock bottom just because of how broke I was. It really just came down to the commitment that, although it seems like, there could be different options and better things that I could be doing right now, I'm just going to stick it out because I know it works. And I'm grateful I did because, once I closed my first deal on my own, apart from that, then it just snowballed even more. And I had, twice as much success as I did when I was in the partnership just because, I really knew how to do it.
Right. Man,
Yeah.
that's what's up too. Like I tell people all the time, even like just like when it comes to getting your first deal, that first deal is really like experience. Like it doesn't matter, even if you made zero, at least you get proof that it works for you.
100%.
Right. So then that gives you that momentum to keep going forward. Just like you say, when you were working with your team, you were getting all of these deals and it was working for you. So when you ended up on your own, you still had that motivation because it's like, okay, well, I know what I can do. I know what, me and my team have been able to do. All I got to do is replicate essentially.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, man, that's major right there. I think a lot of people, get themselves into ruts or, like things aren't going good and, they're wondering like, how do I keep going forward? Maybe I should just go back to getting a job. Maybe I should go back to school, whatever it may be. And for some people, those options may be the best option. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like true entrepreneurs or people just have that entrepreneurial spirit. It's like just working for somebody else forever is just not ever going to sit right with you for too long.
Yeah.
It's not going to sit
Exactly.
you. Man.
Exactly.
So I really, really, man, like that's powerful though. I think a lot of people can gain a lot from that. Seriously,
Hmm.
that's a nice little tidbit right there. So, man,
Yeah.
kind of actually like kind of answered like another one of my questions I was gonna ask you too. Is like I was thinking, like what were some of the struggles that you've had to face along the way? So that's definitely like a tough situation to be in when you're hurting for cash and you need to get these deals and you're trying to get it figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the most discouraging thing too was, I understood, how to market and how to get deals, but not having those funds anymore and not having that, stable income, quitting my job, going full time. That was probably what made it the most challenging because without consistent marketing, you're not going to be bringing in any deals or at least consistently. Um, so it really does take that first deal, and then you're able to really start to scale because you have that money in place to actually go ahead and market consistently. So that was definitely a struggle as well.
Yeah, man, that's big right there for real. I know a lot of people, man, it takes money to make money. This is true. Like if you want to get consistent deals, you're gonna need some type of cash flow. So if you're working a job right now, then make sure that you save some of that money to have a consistent marketing budget so you can actually try to get these deals. It's not just they're not gonna come flying out to you. No one's just gonna be throwing deals at you. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So if you want speed up processes, you're going to have to spend some cash. Either
Yep.
that or you can be expecting at least 90 days for your first deal, if not 2 years. Like I've heard of it taking that long for people to get their first deal just because they had jobs
Hmm.
and they weren't prioritizing getting out of the job.
Yeah.
So man, okay. So man, this is like really, really interesting to me though, because you're a really young guy, and another one of my favorite people to talk to is another one of my clients, Dejan. I actually just had him on the podcast like a couple of days ago, and he's 21 years old. He's out in Pittsburgh, and you're out in what state was it again?
It's Pennsylvania as well. It's Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah, look at
Yeah.
that. That's so crazy. Like even had an office space in like one of the biggest buildings downtown for like a little while or
Really.
whatever. I'm not sure if it's still there or not. But anyway, though, it's like, I love talking to you young guys, man, because it's like you guys like y'all up next,
Yeah.
and it's anything that I can do to like help the younger generation get to where I am and above way before I got there. I'm trying to give as much back as possible, I swear. So
That's
I'm glad that
wonderful.
I reached out to you. And I think that like when I have these conversations with you young guys, that not only the younger generation, but the older guys too. Like we see you and like, look, that's motivation. If he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
So that's one of my main reasons for wanting to have you come on to the podcast. I'm not even going to lie because I believe that you putting in that work, you're like blazing a trail for others just like you and other people that want to be in a situation like you as well. So I'm glad that you out here dropping the gems on people today.
Yeah, I'm glad you had me on. Seriously.
Yeah, man. So real quick though, I want to ask you some more questions. Like, I was gonna say, so what's up next? So, matter of fact, real quick before we even get to what's up next, why don't you tell me a little bit more about like what does like the actual business like look like for you? So I know like some people they focus on like ringless voicemail, direct mail. Like, what's your main marketing strategies right now?
So right now, my main marketing strategy would be cold calling. So I have
Okay.
two full-time cold callers right now. Both of them are based in the Philippines, and I pay them about $5 an hour. So it's pretty cheap. So I have them dialing 5 days a week or 6 days a week. Saturdays for them are optional. If they want to dial Saturdays, they can. Um, so they just are pretty much pounding the phone all day, and I'm just supplying them with as much data as possible. So I'm really getting a lot of my deals from cold calling. And then recently I started doing PPC through Facebook. So I have another kid on my team who I just hired. He's actually only 15, but he's like an expert on Facebook ads. So he's been setting me up a lot of different funnels and a lot of ads. So I've been running those for about a month now. And so far the results from that have been phenomenal. So I think I'm going to stick with that. So those are really my two main, lead sources. I also do bandit signs, not crazy consistently. I do about 200 bandit signs a month.
Nice.
And I'll do those. I do get a decent amount of leads just from bandit signs alone. But I'd say those are my main marketing strategies. I'll do a few of the other ones just to, get as much exposure as possible, such as posting Craigslist ads or different things like that. But those are my main ones.
Okay. Man, so that's not too bad at all then. So we're talking about cold calling, and then you say you got a couple VAs from the
Yeah,
Philippines. So man, I'm not gonna lie, like those virtual assistants come in handy,
absolutely.
man. Like, man, yeah, those virtual assistants definitely come in handy. So you got two virtual assistants. And this, see, I want you all like that's listening right now to understand that every successful business has a certain level of automation and delegation
For
built
sure.
into it. Yeah, it's like you're not just going to be getting these deals out here without, having other people work with you. It's a lot of stuff that needs to happen for a deal to actually flow through a funnel. It's a decent amount of steps, and you got to have a decent network built up to actually be able to process everything. So, um, anyway, so yeah, man, that's okay. So you working out there, you got a
Yeah,
whole system set up, and so you like the
I
Facebook
do.
ads
Yeah,
though.
I mean, this is my first month, so I don't know what the results are going to be in the future, but so far, I have no complaints at all. It's pretty. I'm not sure. We're still calculating price per lead, but it is pretty cheap, and it's pretty much automated. The leads coming in are already warm, qualified leads, which I like a lot. Because cold calling, I mean, cold calling is
Okay.
good, but you got to call a ton of people just to get that one or two warm leads. And Facebook, it's like every lead that's coming in is pretty pre-qualified already, which is why I like it a lot.
Right. Like Facebook is out there selling your service for you 24
Exactly.
hours a day. And it's like an army of you out there selling your product versus just you on the phone or your cold callers on the phone. You can even have a video where it's like, hey, are you interested in selling the property right now?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like that's thousands of impressions for like the same amount that it would have cost just to get a
exactly.
list. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
so we're definitely utilizing Facebook ads in our business as well. And the return on investment is just ridiculous. I tell people all the
Yeah.
time. Like, in fact, I just had one a subscriber of the YouTube channel. I believe he was a subscriber of the YouTube channel, but he reached out. Mac McLaughlin. How do you say his last name? His name was like
Okay.
Matt McLaughlin. Shout out to Matt if you're listening to this. Anyway, but he reached out to me and was asking me about the Facebook ads, and he's about to be running his own really, really soon. He's going to be launching like a big program soon on Facebook. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I believe, especially if you found out about wholesaling on Ty Lopez's, from Ty Lopez, then like social media
Oh,
is where
yeah.
it's at. Like Facebook is where it's at. All of the attention of the world is in our fingertips, literally. So it's like if you're not taking advantage of online and digital marketing, then you're really, really missing a huge portion of the
I
attention.
agree.
The attention in the phones. Like you can't even with bandit signs, it's like bandit signs, direct mail, and other forms of marketing, you can't track it either. So that's
Mm,
another thing that that's what makes me like try to lean towards online advertising a little bit more.
that's
And
true. It
not
is very easy to track.
Yeah, like those KPIs are too important. It's too hard to just track like a bandit sign with like a call real number, for instance. Yeah, that's cool and all, but it's only giving me so much information. I want to know how many impressions did I get? How many people drove past my bandit sign
Yeah.
and didn't call me? Like things like that. You can't find out that with certain forms, even with your direct mail, and you don't know how many people actually read your postcard or your envelope, or how many people opened it up. You just know how many people called you back. That's a really, really bad way to track
100%.
things.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so man, but that's cool though, man. That's cool. The online advertising is where it's at. So, real quick though, so I want to know a little bit more about your like your Instagram stardom, man. Like how do you make your how you get your channel booming like this, man? How long have you been doing the Instagram?
Yes.
How long have you
So
had
what
your
people
Instagram?
actually not too many people know this about me. I actually started on YouTube as a vlog channel. So I have a vlog channel that was really my high school grind. You know, that was my version of being an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a successful YouTuber, so I was a vlogger for a while. I accumulated around like 22,000 subscribers roughly. So a lot of those people did convert over to Instagram, and that's kind of where I built my following from. And then recently working with a lot of people who are already wholesalers, and I've just been trying to grow, you know, my Instagram from more of a personal to more real estate oriented. And a lot of the people that do follow me are from the initial vlog. But
Okay. Yeah, see, I didn't even know
yeah,
that. That's pretty cool, man. You say you've been out here doing this for a minute, man.
yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. How long do you still have that
I
YouTube
do. I
channel?
don't use it. You know, I kind of moved past that. Like I said, that kind of was my old vision, and then now real estate's where I want to be and what I want to do. So I don't really use it too much. But yeah, for a while I was strictly a YouTuber, and then I kind of switched into real estate.
Man, that's what's up though. That's what's up. Right. So yeah, that's I noticed that time like, man, your Instagram following is crazy, man, for real.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna like when I put this video up on YouTube or whatever, I'll probably like snatch one of your Instagram photos and like put it next to my picture. Something like that. Someone's probably looking
That's
at it
cool.
right now, like, yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like real quick, like what would be the best way for people to find you online? Like where do you want people to
Yeah,
find
so
you
I'd
at?
say right now, honestly, Instagram probably would be the best platform. You know, I'm starting to touch into YouTube. I created a new channel just for wholesaling and real estate. But I'll be honest, I'm not too active on there. So, you know, if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, you know, especially the DM, you know, I'm pretty active on my messenger. So if you shoot me a DM, odds are I'll see it and I'll reply. So, you know, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram.
There
Yep.
you go, guys. It goes down in the
Yes, sir.
DM. Reach out to Justin though, man. Like he's a young guy out here, actually out here getting it. Okay. So it's like if you guys want to learn how to wholesale real estate, if you want to start trying to get deals in, it's people out here that's actually doing it. You've got role models, you've got examples of how to get the job done right here in front of you. Definitely make sure that y'all reach out to Justin, follow him on Instagram. Plug your
It's
Instagram. What is it?
Justin Schmidt 8.
Justin Schmidt
Yep.
8. There you go, guys. I want to make sure that I drop that, like the link to your Instagram inside of the description of wherever I post this as well.
Awesome.
So I got you. For real, for real. So, man, I wonder, so what's next though, bro? Like, what do you want to do next? Like, what's your next mission? I know you got the wholesaling going right now. Like,
Yes.
what's the
Yeah,
long
so
term
as of
plan?
right now, my main focus obviously is wholesaling, but I'm really trying to buy my first property. And I really want to start house hacking. So as of right now, I'm just living at home, paying rent, you know, stashing as much cash as possible. Yeah, but I really
Smart.
just want to, you know, buy at least a 4-unit property. That's what I'm looking to purchase in the next year or so. A 4-unit property and, you know, live in one of the units, rent the other 3, you know, hold that for about a year. And then just, you know, start trying to build some long-term wealth because, you know, wholesaling is good, but I do want to, you know, start getting some passive income going for me. So, you know, I'm really focusing on building my credit score, you know, gathering as much income as I can. That way I can qualify for a loan and then, you know, go ahead and actually purchase a 4-unit.
Man, look, you sound like a wise, seasoned investor. Dead seriously though, man,
Yeah.
for real. Like you over here talking about building up your credit, house hacking, like trying to be able to qualify for mortgages and stuff, man. Look, you're on the right path, brother. I promise you that. I
Yeah.
promise you are definitely on the right path. That credit is gonna be major. But just in general, I'm coming up with a new channel soon. So like actually this video may actually be on the new channel. You guys may be listening to this on the new channel already. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
either way, the new channel though is going to be focused around business, credit, and real estate, where I can really like start breaking down the game and telling people how to build up their credit, how to start a business and establish a business credit score, and how to actually own real estate and do things like house hacking and understanding the Burr method and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Seriously.
Yeah, man, it's next.
Yeah.
Coming up next.
I'll be looking out for it.
Yeah, man, for real. We may have to do, have some more conversations, have you come back on to the podcast, share some free game with the community, So, man, and then I want you to, I'm gonna be watching your YouTube channel, because look, the community needs people out there that's actually young, inspiring more young people to take advantage of the opportunity of wholesaling. Seriously.
Yeah.
I told you on our first conversation, I think, like, look, as soon as you actually start posting on there consistently, your channel is just going to blow up before you even realize it. But you know from previous experience. I know how it goes down.
Yep.
For real. So, Justin, brother. So what I want to do, though, is I want to ask you one last question that I like to ask people, on the podcast or whatever. And that's going to be, if there was one piece of advice that you can give to someone out there listening to this podcast, watching this on YouTube, listening to our voice right now, what would be your best advice for them if they wanted to get into the game and get where you are now?
All right. So I would say my best piece of advice would be, just simply commit. And I feel like that's why a lot of people, start in wholesaling and end up quitting. I talk to people all the time who reach out to me on Instagram, and they start telling me that they've been trying and they just can't seem to close their first deal, and they start questioning whether it's possible or not. So I would say just go all in, and you're going to hit lows in the beginning. A lot of people get into business thinking that it's just going to be all uphill, and they get super excited when they first hear about a new opportunity. And then once that excitement starts to die down and they actually start putting in the work to make it happen, that's when a lot of people start getting discouraged. So, coming from me, I've had, really low points. I've been jobless, extremely broke. All the people around me seem to be doing better than me. And I'm just, praying and having faith that it's going to work out. And, by the grace of God, it did. So I want to just encourage anyone out there who's, trying to make it happen, hasn't gotten their first deal yet. Just commit to it and put in the work and don't quit, make it happen. And I promise you, if you just stick it out until you get your first deal, everything's going to change after that. So that'd be my best piece of advice.
Oh, man, I think you broke it down beautifully right there, man. That was a great synopsis right there, guys.
Yeah.
I hope you guys was listening. I'm gonna let that one end it right there. Hold that gravity, make sure y'all feel that one. So, Justin, brother, I really appreciate you coming on to the podcast and sharing your experience, your knowledge with the wholesaling mastermind community.
My pleasure. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Definitely want to have you come on in the future so we can have some more of these conversations. And like I said, I'm going to be watching your YouTube channel. I'm going to make sure that I stay linked up with you. We're going to keep communicating. We're going to do our thing. Maybe we can even do some JV deals. I'm actually looking for some JV opportunities nationwide right now. So we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, dead seriously. Okay. Dead seriously. All right, though, Justin. Well, you have a great rest of your day, brother. Thanks for coming on to the podcast. And for all of our listeners out there, guys, if you want to be able to come onto the podcast someday, send me a voice message on Anchor. Or if you're on iTunes or Apple Podcast or whatever, just reach out to me on the Facebook page. I'm going to have all of the links in the description of this podcast. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Until next time, guys. We are
Thank
out.
you. Yep.
All right.